Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to League Zero here. You're looking at the expert quarterfinals. It's going to be Love Muffin versus Z9 in this exciting matchup. I'm Corbeck, joined here in the casting booth by Acri with the wonderful Pendley handling our production. And Acrinator,
okay,
what do we have to look forward to today?
Whenever, Pendy.
Pretty sure we're in. All right, we're in. I'm looking for the light in the studio. It's not a studio. It's my room. I'm very confused. This was not in my contract. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think we're looking here at Love Muffin versus Z9, and it looks as though we're going to be starting here on Ilios first. So a bit of an interesting choice in terms of map. And see, I think Keith, Mikey maybe coming in. We'll see if we get a good some good Lucio play in here as well.
Oh my god.
Well, we are just waiting to get started there. Looks like they're getting the ready ups in. I'm not sure which ready up is legitimate ready up, so we will wait and see.
Yeah.
I love that Love Muffin logo, by the way. It's good stuff. It's terrifying purple muffin. Does not look lovely at all.
I mean, like whenever you're ready to set it on us talking it all up. Oh, he didn't count us in or anything.
It's all right. It's beautiful.
What? Oh, then my Discord must have bugged out because I didn't hear you talking at all.
Oh, that's not good. Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're all good.
Oh.
No, we're looking.
That's weird. Whatever. Okay.
We're looking at Ilios to start. Oh boy. We're looking at Ilios to start here, Acronator, and it's an interesting map choice. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people like Ilios, but not necessarily for organized play.
Well, what I know about these players, the nice thing about Expert is that I've known these players, a good majority of them, for a long time, going on 2 years now for some of them. This is not going to be organized. It's going to be extremely high skill level, but very disorganized. Players I'd look out for: Keith, Ultra, Target Acquired. Deadlock is a relatively new name. I know him as a tank ringer. For the most part, he was a free agent for most of the season, but I've been hearing really good things about him, so possibly look for him. Kind of surprising that I'm not seeing any Lucios, but it might be some ruins.
I was just thinking the same thing. It's like, really, I admire their ability to resist the temptation. If I'm honest, I'm playing Lucio going into this point, but we will not see it here. It looks like kind of a sort of awkward, almost dive, but not quite. No, it came deadlock annihilated there by Keith. Oh
my god, the Keith dip has already started.
Azali coming in and getting a kill as well. It's Target Acquired knocked out early. Ultra, the ball player, will go down, but already the back of the attack has been broken before they can even touch the point.
A little bit of a scrap here on point, but it looks like Z9 will take the first control percentage.
Yeah, Z9 coming out kind of with a statement there. That early kill by Keith really setting the tone, and Deadlock probably going to play a little bit more cautious around that Zenyatta.
Okay.
All right, Target Acquired firing back now. EOC getting in there as well.
I'm actually really interested by the approaches from both of these teams. Z9, like I was expecting, is completely split apart, just kind of playing more of a pick-based composition. Bakanje/Kasana is the only one on the points, all getting completely melted down. Because Love Muffin is more of a death ball, sort of.
Yeah, you see Target Acquired going down early there. The window coming out kind of abruptly. Sana, though, cleaning up kills on the point and holding it down. He might have been the only person there to start with, but he certainly wasn't at the end there, Acri. Had a good number of players joining him to defend that at the end. And this has been one of the strangest Ilios sort of lighthouse plays I think I've ever seen. This is quite an interesting setup.
I'm actually shocked that Sana survived. On the point there, he had like 3 or 4 people shooting at just him, and the healing was there apparently. He's already getting poked down a little bit, but he does have that flex if he really needs to get out of dodge and up to the high ground or whatnot. Oh, well, wait.
Oh, Deadlock and Target Acquire both getting some kills. Sana returning the favor almost immediately. Immortality Field was forced out there, but they couldn't really get it going. And really, the board has just never been set here by LOVEMUFFIN. They never quite got it the way they wanted up until just about now. And even then, they're bleeding bits and pieces of their team the entire time. The dive coming in from Ultra here, he will ult and drop in there. Does manage to get Lupical out of the fight almost immediately. The 2 tanks continuing doggedly towards the point, but EOC really can't do anything but touch before getting burned down. And this has just not been a great map for LOVEMUFFIN. This has been a struggle and a half from the very beginning.
Yeah, I think they were coming out expecting double shield to run into double shield on top of what they were playing, but they kind of just ran into this very split pick composition, the Sigma Wrecking Ball, which is about a meta and a half ago, but I mean, it seems to be working.
Yeah, well, if it works, if it works, it works. And they're running something again similar here as we come into Well. Not stereotypical comps for Well at all, and actually moving to match here.
For the most part, yeah, it's going to be another pick-based composition, which personally I love watching Expert play these because it's just raw skill. It'd be interesting to see if anyone answers Vexy this time around. Last round, he was just kind of sitting up on the high ground, and McCree doing literally whatever he wanted for the entire round. He was completely unanswered.
Well, Ultra kind of rolled into the entire enemy team there and then thought better of it. He'll roll back, though. He'll get some damage there in from that initial boop, but not really enough. They're playing quite tight here, and it's pick-based comps, like you said, on both sides, but really neither team able to get that initial pick. Even as I say that, though, Ultra is lasered down by Deadlock. EOC getting in on the action as well. Catches Azali looking on the outside edge, burns them out of existence. Now the pressure really coming on the point, flipping initially in favor of LOVEMUFFIN's. LOVEMUFFIN's there trying to destroy Mickey, and they do destroy him. Whew. I felt that all the way over here.
MK just didn't have a chance. And it looks like LOVEMUFFIN are actually finding their footing now. I think they were expecting a completely different composition to be run out by Z9, but now that they have their finger on the pulse of the actual match, they should be warmed up and hopefully a little bit closer.
EOC basically just hunting with a little bit of support there from Deadlock on that Tracer. Now they're coming in towards the point. EOC will be the one who touches and contests. He's kind of just running patrol loops on this Roadhog at the moment, but it's Azali who gets started early. Ultra getting a good pick on Target Acquired. Will pay for it with their life, and there comes Vexy here with the tack visor. And just as suddenly as they split apart, now they coalesce here, and they'll start to push forward in fine form and finish off anybody who is still on the point. So a good attack there from Z9.
The carry potential for Peter, aka Azali, is just ridiculous. Like he can get away with such an insane amount. He knows exactly how far he can push. Maybe not that time when the McCree and the enemy Tracer were right on top of him, but I don't think he was expecting that.
Yeah, and again, it's impressive how good a job Z9 does of just coming together when they need to really make those pushes count. Ultra, though, caught out looking in the back line by Target Acquired, and they're going to actually initiate here with the Hoggle. I'm not really entirely sure what the idea was there. High Noon coming in. They'll get lifted up and brought back down, but the Transcendence canceling out most of that. Unfortunately, nothing to come out of the High Noon, but Target Acquired does manage to catch Keith looking on the outside edge. Deadlock now taking down both supports there out of action now for Z9. Lupical, the only casualty. Target Acquired goes down. Vexy on that high ground doing absolute work on the soldier, and Deadlock catches him as he tries to jump to safety. And what a absolutely strange series of fights this has been. Not what I expected at all.
This is exactly what I expected from these teams. They're probably the least concerned about the meta in the entirety of the division, and it shows. Oh, okay, Ultra.
I think he was trying to catch Target Acquired out there in the back line. Didn't quite work out. Ultra pays for that bold play with their life. Now you see Azali on the outside edge looking for a target. Won't quite find it, and the rally comes in, and now it's LOVEMUFFIN's turn to sort of coalesce, get a little bit of that sweet, sweet armor. They have a Brigitte right in front of him, and sure enough, MK will just get annihilated yet again. Seen that particular footage before. 85% now on the clock, and time is ticking down.
Yeah, normally I would talk about ult advantage here, but it really depends. With these teams, it more depends on how they're going to use them. Vexy definitely looking for an opportunity with his attack visor, but he's not really finding too much yet. Someone's using touch.
Well, there is the attack visor coming out. The Transcendence on the other side. Vexy doesn't get anything. Destroyed by EOC on the outside left. Deadlock getting MK out of the fight as well. So the hard tracer counters kind of getting cleared out early on in the fight. Keith gets Deadlock, but it doesn't matter because Orange and Target Acquired are there to clean things up. A valiant effort by Sana to touch will be met by nothing but death, and that'll push us on to Ruins. And this is looking more like Call of Duty Team Deathmatch than any Overwatch game I've ever seen.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Ultra tried to show off his hog a little bit in the end there, but EOC had his number. So, of course, this had to go to Ruins, and I really hope to see some good sniper play here. Targeting on his signature Widowmaker, I would not be shocked. Yep, there we go. I would not be shocked to see Vexy go on to the Widow as well.
Takes the duel, understandably so. Ultra going back to the ball.
I feel there is no strategy behind that. He's like, hey guys, I want to feed for a minute.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like he was struggling there towards the end, but I mean, it's Ruins. I guess it's a different map. Maybe you make something happen with it.
If you know Ultra's personality, this is not a surprise whatsoever. This is par for the course. Ooh. Target Acquired getting a haircut there.
Yeah, shots coming out on both sides. Target Acquired getting a little bit more off the top, but will survive again. Target Acquired actually taking quite a bit of substantial damage. Deadlock there going dangerously low as well. The fight boiling over the top of the boards, but it doesn't really matter because they're coming back towards the point. Sana again, the lone Sigma, just trying to hold off the oppressive advance of EOC and Pooter Scooter there. Lupical gets Ultra in the back line yet again. The ball once more struggling just a little bit on those backline pushes. Sana in a lot of pressure though, and Sana will go down as Ollie follows them quickly into the grave. And the two tanks here, EOC and Pooter Scooter, doing a spectacular job of just locking that point down and really making Sana's life hell.
Yeah, honestly, because it has been Sana on the point, just looking for those opportunities to stall, get a little bit extra percentage up. And in the meantime, Lupical's been doing a really good job of not allowing Ultra to harass him. Normally you'd think it'd be the Wrecking Ball getting the better.
What a good hook there. Keith taking out an Ultra follows thereafter. Ultra was hooked from basically halfway across the map there by EOC, doing a little bit of alpha hog action on that. Kind of sting just a little bit for Ultra, if I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you make the swap after just getting completely destroyed by a Zenyatta of all things, and it doesn't go much better for you. Actually, Vexy swaps off of the Widowmaker onto the Reaper as well, so he's going to be looking for some good value here.
Target Acquired taken out of the fight early on. The press does come forward. Sana now contesting with backup. Keith takes Lupical out. The Zenyatta's trading some blows there. Keith getting another kill as well. Zenyatta starting to frag out here. And it's the supports who are doing the majority of the killing there on the point with the help of their two tanks. Great play there. Target Acquired up on the high ground. Looking for something. Can't quite find it.
To have the DPS of Z9 pressuring him down, making sure they don't get a little sniper's den set up, but it's not really going to stop Target Acquired from looking for different angles. I don't think they quite realize that he's rotated around now. Okay, now they do.
Sana coming out there with the Gravitics that'll pop the Transcendence out of Lupical almost right away. That will keep them up. Emke going down early on. That's a big pick there. The Brigitte taken out of the action. Transcendence coming out from the other side now. Keith just trying to keep his team up through this initial spike of damage, but it's Lupical again getting a pick. EOC gets two! A Roadhog play from EOC has been nothing short of spectacular across these maps.
Yeah, he honestly hasn't gotten to play Roadhog very much, but I can see that he's been itching to show it off, because he's been a pretty big force in the front line for LOVEMUFFIN thus far, and I think a big reason why they're still in this series instead of it being a swift 2-0 for Z9.
Yeah, indeed. And there's the push coming forward now. Ultra leading the charge here. The sights will come out for the Widowmaker. Target Acquired can't really make anything happen with it, though. But it's EOC again gets Vexy. Now Pooter Scooter contributing as well. Target Acquired in the back line Target Acquired really having a rough day. He will get burned down, but Pooter Scooter and Deadlock trying to make up some of that EOC difference right there and will hold off. Now it's just desperate touches coming out on the side of G9. MK trying to hold on, won't make it out. Now Sana over the the top on the ball, just stalling this for as long as possible. Sana's still there. Sana actually getting a pick on Lupacall, which is great job. Well done. Vexy trying to get some shots in with the shotgun. Will get rocked, and then most of the damage eaten. That's going to force a Gravitic Flux out here to see if they can get anything off of it. Target acquired coming back on the shoulder, popping the legs, popping some heads. And that's a solid win for Love Muffins on map 1.
Yeah, despite being the higher seed, technically, Z9 has been gaining such momentum in the last couple of weeks of the season that I was fearful that it would just be a stomp for them. But I'm glad to see that Love Muffin has some fight in them. And this appears to be rather close. I think a big reason why Love Muffin were able to take that was Z9's composition, especially on that last round on Ruins, kind of relied on Vexy as the Reaper to get in close and do a lot of damage, but they just couldn't quite get there because they kept getting poked down. Because the tanks on Love Muffin were just getting the better of Z9's tanks for the most part, and the damage follow-up was much better all around from Love Muffin. So you had, generally speaking, sorry, trying to find the chat where I have the map pool and everything. Generally speaking, you have Love Muffin getting a lot more value before Z9 could even get to the point.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. EOC on that hog in those kind of poke stages was making a world of difference, kind of getting big picks, getting good hooks to start things off. And you saw Ultra on the ball. I mean, being disruptive, but a lot of the time kind of just getting caught out looking in the back line. They did it. Love Muffin did a very good job of kind of coalescing around to get a defense specifically to shut down Ultra's ball and really prevent him from getting a lot of value, which is, I think, why we saw that hog pick at the end there. I mean, it was good stuff from both sides, and I'm not going to pretend like it was a blowout in favor of Love Muffin because it almost certainly wasn't. But definitely, I think Z9 maybe came into that one expecting it to be a little bit easier than it was. So they'll have to change things up here as we move into our second map, which of course will be a choice between Kings, Iconwall, and Hollywood. And Sana is putting in the chat that they will be taking Kings. So completely nothing new there as Vexy signals ready. I wonder if we see Ultra try the ball again.
I think he's going to take every opportunity he can to feed on Reinhardt. So
fair enough. Yeah, that does make sense. To feed on Reinhardt. Good Lord.
He doesn't get enough of that when he's competing in top OD contenders trials. So he needs to do it a little bit here too. Ultra, of course, for those who aren't quite as familiar, is the main tank for No Evil, who are in the upper tier of Open Division. They hit trials. They were one game away from being in Contenders Gauntlet. So,
yep.
Rather high up there. Keith, I believe, top 16 OD. I don't think Love Muffin has anyone on their team quite to that level, but they do have people who played with people like Vexy and Keith.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of the names of Love Muffin are familiar to me, but I'm not sure if that's from the League Zero context or from the Open Division context, but it's been a while since I cast the Open Division, so maybe things have changed. But Kings Row, it's a good Reinhardt map. Always has been, always will be. So we'll get to see Ultra coming out the gate on that. And I mean, Keith on the support, scary stuff, right? He's great. He got the Zenyatta play of the game, deservedly. So it's been actually it's been a hot minute since I've seen a Zenyatta play of the game, if I'm honest. Used to see him quite a bit before he sort of never really necessarily fell out of favor, but certainly became less valuable or less picked than he was for a long time.
Yeah, well, when you have someone like Keith or Pascal on San Francisco, who's got a bye week this week, they just kind of play whatever they want and get away with it. That's what teams are ready.
Skill allows you to do at a certain point in time. We'll see what they come out with here. Continue. I mean, again, it was a bit of a bloody nose there, I think, for Z9, but definitely nothing that they can't overcome. I'm not sure that Love Muffin will be able to keep up that kind of successful tempo, and I don't know. I don't know enough about EOC to see how he'll play on off tanks that aren't named Roadhogs. So
from experience, he's pretty nasty on basically anything he plays. So he's going to keep up that level of play pretty much regardless. It looks like they're going to be sticking with this. I'm actually interested to see Deadlock and like what his hero pool allows for, because I think that'll be a big deciding factor here of like which team goes ahead in this matchup, because the supports are mostly even. I'd say Keith gives C9 a slight edge. The tanks are mostly even. probably Z9 has a slight edge there, but the DPS from Z9 are also disgustingly flexible. Peter, aka Azali, can basically play whatever he wants, known for his Doomfist, for his Tracer, so they're going to roll off on these really weird compositions and make them work regardless. Whereas it looks like Deadlock has been playing quite a lot and doing pretty well with it.
Lupical starting things off there with a big pick on Azali the Doomfist. He might have caster cursed him just a little bit there, Acronym. I'm not sure, but target acquired goes down early. Vexy gets Courage, came up for the revive and gets destroyed as well. Deadlock, Vexy owns the top floor of that building, and he charges a steep price for rent. Vexy gets used. Vexy, what? The Reaper just tears the heart out of the enemy team one by one. He's like a serial killer from a horror movie.
What just happened? They let a Reaper teleport up to the high ground and just said, yeah, you can chill. And, and he's still going. Like, okay, well, now but he's dead, but...
EOC, the final girl there of that particular movie, but my lord, that was brutal. He just got up there and just started killing people. That was
no one did anything about it.
No one did anything about it.
He just did whatever he wanted.
Azali was set up for an ambush here on the high ground. It does look like they spotted it out. Deadlock there on the Reaper kind of playing fast and loose without much of the team to back him up. Sana took a ton of damage initially. The Discord Orb was on him as well. Now they should know that Azali is here waiting to dive in, but nobody seems to have really paid any attention to it. The initial burst of damage, huge meteor strike. Azali gets 4. The DPS for Z9 coming in huge right now, basically escorting them through these first 2 points. Unfortunately, nobody was on the cart.
Yeah, I was gonna say no one's escorting the cart, but they figured that out themselves before.
Escorting their face to the grave. The cart can come later.
Well, this has been insane. Like, LOVEMUFFIN haven't really had a chance to build up any ultimates.
No.
I think no, he was on Widowmaker, so he just is now building up his high noon. A little bit of an altercation here in the back line, but I don't think this is going to go very well for LOVEMUFFIN.
Target acquired, crushed there. Vexy does get brought down early on. It's maybe enough to allow them to stall this out for a little bit. The Gravitic coming out from Pooter Scooter there. Drops some bodies down, but doesn't really finish anybody off. Deadlock taken out of the action almost right away. Great chatter coming in. Sana is taken out as well. EOC popping the whole heart for that one. They will invest the sound barrier here. That's Mikey trying to keep this fight going. EOC again really doing work for the team. Really doing work keeping them in these fights. Unfortunately, he gets annihilated just as I say that, and that prompts a Death Blossom over the top there that didn't really get that much, and that will be a breakthrough, but kind of a knock him down, drag him out, last man standing sort of fight.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing swaps left and right, in particular from the supports and the DPS from LOVEMUFFIN. The tanks are just trying to do what they can with their picks. They're pretty steadfast on the Sigma Roadhog. But everyone else has been swapping at least every other fight, it feels like. They barely have a chance to build up ultimates, and that's just allowing Z9 to cycle through theirs steadily and slowly and still have a pretty healthy ult economy.
Vexy going to engage with Deadlock there on the high ground. The two Reapers exchanging shotgun rounds on the high. Ooh, Azali was hooked, but they didn't quite bring him down. That'll just prompt the Meteor Strike. Comes in, doesn't really go anywhere with it. Deadlock popping the Death Blossom on the other side. Now that's going to allow them to put pressure here on Ultra. Ultra and the Moira really alone. You see Keith just backing up, trying to give him room, and they'll escort the Reaper out there. The team unfortunately split as Emkey and Target Acquired and Koran have a nasty little menage a trois there in the background. Menage a death, really, the backside. We'll see they reset.
You do actually have Azali swapping off of the Doomfist finally onto a McCree. I guess he decided he could only feed so much, and it wasn't building up his Meteor Strike as much as he would have liked. Good old get out of jail free card.
Keith's opening up there with the Coalescence and allows them to close the distance and get immediately into the brawl, and it is a brawl, ladies and gentlemen. Just kills being exchanged back and forth on both sides. Corange down, EOC down, Lupical Target Acquired, and they'll push it through, and the defense just breaks. Brittle at the end there.
Yeah, I don't know if you can call that a defense, because they stopped for maybe 30 seconds and then resumed. So it was just kind of a constant steady motion of backwards for them or forwards for Z9. They just never stop going forward. And
Yeah,
that's a pretty disgusting time bank, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 335 is it's nothing to scoff at. All things considered, it wasn't. Yeah, it's ugly. I'm not gonna lie, that's ugly. It's definitely a different style of Overwatch than I think probably a lot of people are maybe used to seeing in this day and age. Far more chaotic, far more like just brawly than what we tend to consider a little bit more clinical, double shield style. But neither of those teams are buying into that. As you said, neither of these teams feel particularly beholden to the meta, and they're more than happy to show that off.
Yeah, actually, they seem to have watched the Season 3 Overwatch League Grand Finals meta and were like, hey, let's do that. That looks fun. And that's basically been what they've been doing the entire time. Because it's just chaotic and very pick-oriented. And yeah, I mean, just look at what they're playing. Aside from like the Mei and the Brigitte, it's pretty much all just pick-based.
Yeah, it is very pick-based, 100%. And out they come there. Pooter had the eat up already. Was expecting something to come. Don't think it really dropped as much as he wanted, but he got some shield off of it to be sure. Vexy in the high ground here, just putting pressure on Deadlock. These awkward initial engagements, but Azali won't survive. Lupical again initiates yet another attack defense with a kill on Azali. And push forward here. Ultra taking a lot of pressure from Deadlock, who is just kind of dropping over the top there. Deadlock actually will finish off Ultra. So the Reinhardt struggling just a little bit. Finally, the Echo does go down, but target acquired. More than happy to push forward and get some kills of his own. Really doing great work there on that soldier. And my MK just caught in the corner and annihilated there. And wow, a lightning fast attack on the other side to start us off.
Yeah, I think that was maybe like 20, 30 seconds slower than Z9, but when you're this fast, it doesn't really matter. It's all fast at this point.
Very true.
It's going to really depend on the street space to see if Z9 can slow it down any amount, although no one really has ultimates on the board, but as I say, it's going back and forth, so it's hard to say who's going to be able to push past or hold this choke. Quite yet. Oh, yeah. Okay, well...
Oh, what a great hook there, pulling Ultra out of position. Ultra caught looking, burned down. Wasn't anything you could do. It'll be Lupical who finishes another amazing hook. EOC, the beating heart of the attack and defense. Deadlock does die on the backside, but really not making any difference here. Actually, they've trapped Azali in the subway station. Target acquired, chasing after them. The two soldiers dueling in the crowd, but it's EOC. The big man comes in to finish the fight, and the cart will continue to push, and this is...
Vexy's spawn camped. Oh,
Vexy is in the back line, yeah, as the Tracer trying to spawn camp right now. The pressure coming in on the front line, the rally is popped here early on, just giving a little bit of health to everybody around. The drop comes in, but the lift is there. They'll pull Ultra up into the air. They won't really get any picks off of it. Attack visor coming out now from Azali. Azali cleans up K-Orange first. The counter attack visor coming out the other side. Oh, jeez. Target acquired came around the corner and straight into a hail of firepower. Never even saw anyone with the tactical advisor, and I don't really think he ever had anyone in his sights, if I'm being perfectly honest.
He had no chance whatsoever, and he decided he's had enough of the grunty old soldier, and instead going for the cowboy, maybe getting a little bit of range on Azali there. Honestly, Z9's been banking up a decent amount of ultimates in these last couple fights there, with LOVEMUFFIN having to use quite a few to try and almost cap the second point. Couldn't quite get there. Oh no. Yep.
Deadlock was waiting for him to come stumbling out of the bar there. He just nailed Azali as he ran by. Now the pressure coming forward. It's a Gravitic there. It's got a couple of decent targets, but I don't think anything really. Target acquired trading. Ultra just goes on a little bit of a tear. Why not? A bit of a sightseeing tour down the middle of King's Row, but now has no choice but to back up, desperately looking for a health pack. But I think his Doomfist might have stolen, not Doomfist, but I think might have been stolen from him. I'm sorry. We'll push forward here. Oh, lessons, this fight is not over. Ultra will not let it end. He takes Lupical out and he takes EOC down as well. And they'll barnstorm through the streets here to try and catch whatever swishy target they can. Ultra goes down, target acquired goes down, the kills flying fast and furious, the streets of Kings Row running red and blue.
I don't know if these teams know what's happening anymore. It's basically just 1v1 arena.
This is basically play-by-play caster hell right now, if I'm honest. This is punishment for my sins. I don't know what I did, but it's great. I mean, I do love to see it. It is actually really just a strange and kind of lovely form of Overwatch, if I'm being entirely honest.
Vexy perpetually spawn camping. He's causing a ruckus, and it is actually forcing Target Acquired and Deadlock back to deal with him, which I think is a big reason as to why they haven't been able to push the final wave through second point quite yet.
Gravitic up, Gravitic down. That does force MK to pop the sound barrier there. They're going to try and use it to get a little bit aggressive here. They won't quite manage to do it. Instead, the Transcendence will escort the team forward. Great Tac Visor Shatter combo, but the kills actually don't really start stacking up until the bitter end. And when they do start stacking up, it is decidedly in favor of Z9, and they'll push forward and back here. And yeah, Vexy again. Predatory on that Tracer. This time, though, it's Azali who's up on the high ground looking for a little bit of cheeky spawn damage.
No, Deadlock almost met his maker a bit sooner than he was expecting, but he does survive. And you do actually have Target Acquired coming up onto his High Noon, so he might be able to find something with this. He has had some pretty big flank High Noons in the past. I don't know if he's going to get away with it with the way Z9 has been playing, but, you know, he could try.
Well, Z9 has split their team here, but not enough because it's a huge Gravitic from a sneaky Sigma who's actually hiding behind all of them. Sada comes up, High Noon from Target Acquired catches the Zali looking, but really not enough to change the course of fate as is being dictated here in the frontline battle. EOC throwing a rock into the face of a surging Ultra will slow him down. A window does come out somewhere up on the high ground. I think he did that primarily so he could get some healing onto his team. And I'm not entirely sure how it all worked out, but at the end, Acronator is point control in favor of LOVEMUFFIN.
Yeah, like I've been saying, the DPS from Z9 have been doing a great job just splitting the attention from the DPS of LOVEMUFFIN, and the rest of Z9 is doing a great job of dealing with the rest of LOVEMUFFIN on the points.
Block Shadow Gravitic coming in. Now the kills are starting to go in favor of LOVEMUFFIN. They've got Emke looking there on the Lucio. They'll kill him and then they will complete the touch, but only 1 minute and 33 seconds for them to complete this last point, and that is a tall order.
Yeah, they have to do it without any overtime ticking down as well. Otherwise, the best they can do at that point is just a draw, and obviously they don't want that. So they're gonna try and take it with a few seconds remaining at the very least.
No pressure. Definitely not one of the hardest points in Overwatch to attack or anything, so it's all good. Ultra here just clearing space, and they can't afford these kind of delays. The Tac Visor coming out early on is just heavy shielded. They'll try and get some value out of that, and that's Target Acquired being very brave, very bold on that McCree, trying to win that duel, but Azali finishes him off. Now Azali just takes that flank position on that soldier and starts pumping in the damage, and it's absolute chaos here on the front line. EOC can't do anything but reel backwards as hammer blows come in, quite literally and figuratively, from Ultra. They'll push up there and secure that point and just zone them off, anyone being able to touch the payload.
Yeah, however, they do have about 30 seconds remaining, and they have coming up on 5 ultimates, so I don't know if it's possible, actually, if they can take it outside of overtime, but at the very least they can try and force that draw. Not the worst thing in the world. They are still up in this series.
Oh, good. Gravitic on the back end. That will force the sound barrier out early on. They probably have overcome most of the initial damage there. Pooter does have the Shatter. He's looking to try and use it. He won't. He'll die with Shatter. That'll force a High Noon out from Target Acquired, but you can't help but feel like the fight is over. Deadlock there on the backside doing their best on a Junkrat, just trying to contain the Lucio. Will finally get MK down. Tire comes out from Deadlock. Somebody's got to touch the Junkrat comes forward. Now it's Vexy and Deadlock dueling here for a second. before Deadlock's teammates can get up and support their Junkrat. Now they'll begin to push forward, and again, once more, not really sure how exactly it happened, but point control will be in the hands of LOVEMUFFIN. Now LOVEMUFFIN trying to push forward. Scooter looking for a target. He's got Ultra there and will suitably take Ultra down. Sada just gets solo shattered, as is tradition for many an angry ball player. And wow, they'll complete it. Unfortunately, they'll complete it in overtime.
Well, they're still alive right now. They need to have a better first point defense than what they had last time, but it is possible to actually draw this and remain in the lead for the series. But even if they lose this, Muffin is still would still be tied in that situation. They're currently up 1-0.
I think it was Deadlock who was the hero of the hour there at the end. On that Junkrat, managed to take Emke out and then got the tire off. Charged that tire really fast. Oh no.
A little bit of banter coming in. I know the stream can't see it, but
they can't see it.
MK is calling LOVEMUFFIN boring currently, which I don't think that's the case, you know? I just don't.
No. Boring is not the first word that would pop into my vocabulary.
A little bit of back and forth for the time being. We might actually be seeing the AC 130.
Yeah, I think we are maybe seeing something akin to that. Yarhar Fiddly Dee being a pirate is alright by me. Don't really know what I'm supposed to make of that, but sure. And yeah, I do actually think that's what we're gonna see. They're gonna try and get Vexy somewhere on the high ground with this Bastion. And they know it's coming because they've definitely got the sight. So where will they put an Angry Bastion? Well, where else would you put him? On top of the statue, of course. They'll give him the shield. Now Vexy has to get a kill. He's got target acquired. He's taken out. They'll res him back. Oh no, the res doesn't go off. I don't think MK could quite get it. But still, I mean, target acquired going down early on, kind of a big pick, and it's just utter chaos here on the point for a second. Scooter looking for something. Sana actually burned down. There's an Orisa behind them on the high ground. Ultra up there gets killed by a fire strike.
Currently, Fire Strike is a aerial denial tool now.
Things I have legitimately never seen in my entire life on King's Row is an attack Orisa up behind the enemy team in a flanking position getting killed by a fire strike. Never seen it. First time.
So Metro is a wild character.
It really was crazy. The fight absolutely boiling in the front line right now. Those two teams really trying to slug it. Ultra comes surging forward. He's got the window behind him as well. Counter window coming out on the other side. The Molten Core there just cutting down the, I guess, fastest inside route to the other side of the hotel, but nobody can stand here. Through the Alderworth does come a surging Z9, and that is everybody dead. And Z9 will take the map win, but what an insane map it was. That's all
interesting. Yeah. Oh, the 3K, yep.
Yeah. This was very good, to be fair. It was very good. And a punch as well, why not? Okay.
You wanted it so bad.
Really, when it should have been 5, if I'm going to be honest, but didn't quite get it. 3,000 Transcendence healing. That's nothing to scoff at. Nothing to scoff at all.
All right. Well, LOVEMUFFIN is fully prepared, and I've already called Rialto for the map, so I didn't even need to do that whole spiel in chat.
Yeah, Rialto definitely going to offer us a more steady and reserved playing style. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be an absolute mess. I can already see it. I can already see how this is going to be an absolute disaster.
I can't tell if they're serious about swapping Marquis in for Ultra. So I'm just going to wait until I hear it from the manager or the captain. Because I don't trust that call.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, Rialto, again, these two teams have been playing this very deathmatch pick comp style Nothing going to change here on Rialto. I do, maybe if Love Muffin has some sort of strategy for how they want to run this, maybe they got some plan in mind. Maybe we'll see EOC coming back out on the hog. That being said, I mean, EOC Sigma was perfectly serviceable as well.
A little bit of
a little bit of back and forth here in the chat about whether or not Ultra should be swapped out for Marquise. It's quite funny. I don't think they're quite.
Okay, I see what they're doing. They're gonna have
some swaps coming in for sure. It looks like Ultra might not be able to finish out the series, so
he might have to go. So I believe what they're doing is, hold on, final lineup is Sally, Fexy, Keith.
Definitely some changes coming in here. They're making some swaps and perhaps compensating for the fact that Ultra will not be here for the rest of the series. I'm not entirely sure. Looks like Marquis will be playing support, and they'll switch Keith over to DPS here for this next map. So definitely some changes. Keith, of course, with the mechanical skill to play DPS perfectly fine. No changes coming out on Love Muffin. They seem perfectly happy to run what they have.
All right, let me just go back up and check if... I don't think Love Muffin has given the R quite yet. No, they did. Okay, so...
Yeah, so... It'll be interesting, I guess, to see... Yeah, let's get started if we're good. It'll be interesting to see what the adaptation is here with Azali moving up to that tank role. Azali, I think, does play off-tank, so I assume that's what they'll be filling in for.
Yeah, and Bakanje Sana has played a decent amount of both tanks in the past, so I'm not too surprised to see this. I was a little bit confused when they were saying just flat out Marquis for main tank. That would have been awkward.
Yeah, it makes more sense now. Definitely makes more sense to be sure.
I don't know if I've seen Keith play DPS before, so I'm very interested to see what's going on with that. I have no doubts that he has the mechanical abilities to pull out the Widow. So, I like these compositions.
Yeah, this is again, I mean, true to form for what we've seen them play so far. Very pick oriented, very killy. Very much not going to be, set in stone methodical advances. So we'll see what they can muster here. Target acquired. We'll be dueling with Keith on that Widowmaker, and that is that's going to be a matchup to watch. That's going to be an interesting one.
Marquis coming back from the bench that he's been on for the past couple weeks in favor of Keith, but he did start for a decent portion of the season on flex support, so it's a lot to look forward to there from him. Actually, I don't think we've gotten to see him on Zen very much, so this should be an interesting show. Looks like the duels aren't really going to start until the card gets closer to this. Okay, well, never mind.
Wow, target acquired, getting the old Viking crew cut there to start things off from Keith. They will get the res in, so they'll get their Widowmaker back up. A lot of the ground being surrendered here, though, if we're being honest. I mean, they're around the first quarter, coming up to blue corner here, one of the proverbial corners of death. And that'll force an engagement from Sana as Azali tries to come in off the backside, drops in, does a ton of damage on the ball slam, and then kind of carts out. Oh, no! Lupercal was caught looking there by Azali, who just rolled down the street and sent him into the canal. Marquis getting a kill here as well on Deadlock. Keith does go down, not to his opposite number, but rather to a very aggressive play from Pooter Scooter there. They've caught Sana kind of looking here. They're trying to take the Sigma out of action. EOC can't quite finish it off. There we go. 5 people involved on the kill of Sana right there, so that's teamwork for you. And the cart will continue to roll.
These fights have just been so fascinating because really the only frontline pressure anyone has right now is EOC, because the snipers don't really play to any frontline pressure whatsoever. So it's a lot of picks, but not a lot of clashing, if you will, from the teams, other than like a little bit between the Sigmas and the Roadhog.
Yeah, this card has largely just been allowed to roll forward here. pretty much uncontested. Pooter Scooter now up on the front line will be facing off against Sana again. Marquis playing a little bit fast and loose there, but it'll be an early Gravitic and a good Gravitic. That's at least 4 members of the team in the Transcendence coming out. Adaptive circuits over the top there, and I don't think that lasted for more than like 3 seconds. I'm not entirely sure. Target acquired there, trying to get some res in, trying to get some shots off. Won't quite make it work because Vexy is right there. Lupical there as well, and that should signal the end of this attack.
Oh, that was probably one of the funnier duplicates I've seen in a while from Vexy. He, for some reason, decided to duplicate the Widowmaker, so they had double Widowmaker for about 3 milliseconds there. Except Deadlock was staring straight at him, so he just knocked
shot him in the head.
3 Storm Arrow headshots straight to the face, and there goes the duplicate. There goes the double Widowmaker tree.
Well, yeah, here comes the Gravitic on the other side. That'll force the Transcendence out of Marquis. The person who's really in danger here is Sana, who backs up there, gets taken out by the Dragons. That's the majority of the frontline presence taken out here. Even as I say that, though, MK is doing a good job with the rally of just stalling things out. Target acquired really not having any luck on this Widowmaker. Actually, Keith getting in on the action as well will take Deadlock out of the fight. Keith getting in on the action again, gets target acquired. The support turned DPS, putting in some good work on the Widowmaker there, and target acquired will switch off.
It is truly just a Keith diff, apparently. It's been a Keith diff every other game they've won for the latter half of the season, and it continues to be so far. As I don't know why anyone should question a flex support swapping over to hitscan anymore.
Nope, definitely not. I mean, it's a tale as old as time as far as Overwatch is concerned. Target acquired again, getting taken out.
Oh no!
Oh.
He gets res just to get mined.
Yeah, this is starting to look like a bit of a disaster here for the side of Love Muffins. They really don't have anything going for them as Ollie gets 2 on the roll through. Deadlock and Lupical both sent back into the canal. Lupical's been there before. Oh, what a mess. Keith, Sana, Keith, all the time.
They just weren't allowed to breathe that match. I'm actually really shocked.
Absolutely crushed, if I'm kind of being honest. Despite getting so much progress on the cart, never really in control.
Initiating match.
Yeah, honestly, it was a little bit too scrappy for Love Muffin's liking, I suppose. They couldn't quite gain composure with Keith just taking every single sightline known to man, and then Azali just being everywhere at once, knocking them into the drink, knocking them into the enemy team, and well, they didn't have a ton of frontline pressure. They did have a lot of burst damage, I suppose you could call it, and really took advantage of whoever was knocked out of position.
Yeah, it's a strange. It was a strange series of matches up, but really, again, it was Keith who was doing, I think, getting those kills, just constantly disrupting the rhythm. You kind of never felt that they were able to establish kind of a good back and forth, or like a good, most of these maps I guess we've seen, right, Acronator, it's been kills, right, like trading back and forth. That didn't happen here. This was just mostly kills in favor of the defenders, and you felt like Love Muffin just never really got settled.
Yeah, they never really got the momentum and the kill feed to work in their favor enough where they could push it through that final couple meters in first point. And of course, first point for Rialto is one of those really rare occasions where defenders can get that first hold on an escort like this.
Balls dueling on the outside edge there. You don't really see that. They're both swinging.
They're hitting each other.
TOC and Azali just swinging around each other like they're planets in orbit. Couldn't quite get anything, but it's Deadlock who dies first on the Sigma. There's nothing to laugh about there. Deadlock, or on the Sombra, just gets caught out and killed almost immediately. Vexy will go down, so target acquired finally starting to get into the rhythm just a little bit, but this kind of half-hearted dive from Sana, just absolute chaos on both sides. It looks like Keith is trading shots with somebody. Pooter Scooter caught in the midst of the crossfire fire will go down. Mikey, they go for the hack there. Unfortunately, it doesn't really go in, but Orange and EOC, they'll manage to get some kills on the back end and hold on. And again, this kind of scramble band composition will hold water, at least for the initial push.
Ironically, despite me saying in the last round that EOC was doing a good job of creating like some of the only frontline pressure on the Hog, he seems to be doing a really good job of just being everywhere on this Wrecking Ball. He's doing good peel for the rest of his team. He's harassing the flankers on Z9. There you go.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, in the midst of all of that, the two supports here just got caught up and killed by the tanks. Sana and Azali just combined to destroy the backline there. Now it's going to be a bit of a rush here to get Lupical and Orange back into this fight early on. Mikey, again, the frontline pressure. Empty the tank. Trying to push this forward. It's kind of Sombra trying to bring that down. Won't work. Emke blasted and taken out. Target acquired again, losing that matchup to Keith on the outside edge. The tank's starting to surge forward here. They did actually manage to get their support set. Lupical will be dueling in the back line. The peel will come in almost immediately from EOC, knocks the Tracer away. Keith finally taken out of the action. As the Transcendence does come out from Lupical, I think he popped that mostly because he needed to stay alive. A lot of pressure being directed forward there on Azali, who will back up. And again, looks like they might be able to hold this for just half a second more.
Yeah, it's looking like they have the ability to hold it for a lot longer. Granted, both teams are banking up a decent amount of ultimates. Well, Vexy kind of whiffed his pulse bomb and then proceeded to fall off the map or something. I think he recalled off the map. So that kind of killed his ult economy. So I'm honestly not sure what's going to happen, but I know it's going to be a fireworks festival.
Well, there's a hack comes in there, a Transcendence and a rally, and some mines as well. Why not? Anybody else got anything else they want to throw into the midst of this nightmare? The kills, though, going in favor of LOVEMUFFIN.
Yeah, that was... I don't know if the stream caught that, but Deadlock had a really clean one clip onto Key there. Not the hardest target, but...
Anyway.
Regardless, they have
40
one
seconds
good
left.
fight.
Yeah, one good fight, exactly. And
And
they
no one
have a
has
Somber
ults.
now.
Well,
And no one has ults. Well, Azali might get mines here early on, but
Yep.
there they
No one's
are.
gonna
So
capitalize.
what? Were they trying to cut off people coming back from the spawn if they got kills? I don't know what it was, but Azali's dead. Sana now trying to push forward. Needs a little bit more support than that, but not really finding it. Keith on the outside edge getting harassed by a Sombra. Won't be able to quite finish the kill there.
Oh.
EOC comes in trying to end it themselves. Doesn't quite work out either. Does manage to get Keith. Now we've got EOC and Pooter on the point. Pressuring Sana, and finally Emke gets back in. Gravitic coming out on the other side. There's a good Transcendence to keep the team alive. The Window's in as well. Deadlock getting big kills. The Sombra coming up trumps when they needed it. Now on the backside there, Keith will get burned down, and they will hold this one out. LOVEMUFFIN manages to pull this through.
Rialto is such a strange map. Like, first point is so weird. Well, I honestly have no clue. I guess he must have gotten a multi-kill somewhere. Maybe he stopped an ultimate? No, this is at the very end.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Good stuff.
So, wow. I don't even understand this series whatsoever, but we are moving on to map 4 and match points for LOVEMUFFIN. Z9 have to win this next map to stay in it and bring it to a map 5. Let's see, that'll be Assault. So that'll be Hanamura. Trying to type and speak at the same time. Hanamura, Anubis, and Volskaya.
Yeah, I maybe somebody above my pay grade could decipher this one, because this is a strange match. There's a fine line between genius and insanity, and I think these guys are just kind of jumping back and forth across that line on a regular basis. Looks like Z9's getting the map pick here, so we'll see what they pick. I'm going to be honest with you, Akron, I don't think it matters which map they pick.
No.
Yeah.
No, I would be expecting them to pick Volskaya. That seems to be the more popular pick amongst them. Dash E for Kanji. Okay.
I think this particular brand of insanity is just going to get brought over to any map that we play. I think what we just saw in Rialto could have happened on any of the other picks as well. So we'll see what we get in here. Red X coming in from Marquee, it looks like. Not sure if that's a legitimate call or not, but
he recently Red X recently. Oh wait, what? So what is happening?
Red X in for Azali. I like
confused.
It's like trying to decipher the flight of birds. Like this is just
Azali support again. I don't know.
Oh well, still not a bad pick coming in actually from Z9 yet. So they're taking their time, I think, to think about this one in just a little bit here. Z9 played well. I'm a little surprised that they lost. I think they kind of got a little high on their own supply just in terms of the insanity there at the end. Insanity is good and pick comps are good and they are entertaining to watch, but you do have to have a little bit of rhyme and reason to your pick comp. You have to be killing certain targets, and I feel like those kills weren't necessarily there on the attack, and unfortunately is why they lost.
Whew, yeah, definitely.
There has to be a meta structure to it.
Yeah. They need to at least be attempting to pick off the same target or similar targets. You know, you can have people group off and like 3 of you try and kill this person, 3 of you try and kill this person, but there has to be some semblance of organization, and they kind of lost that on their own offense, which is why they didn't even push the card. You know, they weren't particularly close to getting it to even as far as LoveMuffin did. It looks like we will be going to Hanamura.
Hanamura it is.
I have no idea what these teams are going to attempt to run here, but like normally I'd say, oh yeah, Symmetra, but these 2 teams in particular, everything's thrown out the window.
Yeah, honestly, I'll be honest with you. I think it's just going to be more of the same. Just that absolute crazy stuff.
I don't mind seeing more double sniper. It's kind of comical in how chaotic it is. Now I'm curious, just since we're waiting on the teams to get back from their own bathroom breaks, just gotta check in on the other stream, see how that's doing. Although I would expect Chengdu to be winning.
Yeah,
the heavy favorites.
The Chads, yeah, the Chengdu Chads.
Actually, it's evened up 1-1. They're on Rialto. Both teams fully capped Rialto, so that they're going the distance in that one. Interesting.
Its own form of caster hell, as it were. But this has been a weird one. This has been one of the strangest matches I think I've ever seen in my casting career. So, I mean, I enjoy it though. It's cool to see the individual skill on display. I mean, it was great to see Keith kind of step into the DPS role and show off the skills there on the Widowmaker. I mean, he was doing a spectacular job. We've seen, EOC on the tanks just playing really well, and actually Sana as well should get a lot of credit for kind of being the pillar of order in an otherwise disorderly setup, as kind of just trying to keep things alive. I think at the end they were feeling a little rough because I think they said in the chat that it was their fault. I don't know about that. Looks like they're discussing a side swap here, so. Before we get started. Yeah, and sure enough, there will be a side swap. LoveMuffin and D9 exchanging positions. LoveMuffin does, in fact, want to start on the defense here on Hanamura, so can't blame them for that. Still deadlock, target acquired. Yeah, still no swaps coming in from LoveMuffin. They're holding the line here, but Dash is coming in. Azali has swapped down to DPS now. Keith will be going back to support. Miscellaneous D isn't exactly the clearest communication. No, it's not. Again, it's all reading. It's all about reading omens and interpreting the behavior of players is really what it is.
Sometimes you gotta remember that expert is primarily like 13 through 16-year-olds, so
It's all the yeah, it's
he's
all
all
the
the more
elegance
mature.
of herding cats at this point in time up here on these particular matches. The gravitas and elegance of a cat herding. We'll see what they come out with on their attack. If there's
Ready for battle.
Yeah,
huh,
interesting. Well,
I
might actually coalesce back into something.
gotta be honest,
Same.
it's not what I expected. I was about to say, if I don't see a ball, I'll be absolutely shocked. And I literally I did a double take there when I saw that we were actually playing like the meta.
I'm actually surprised, but then again, knowing Peter, he likes to play whatever, so I'm not shocked that he's like, yeah, let's play Sim.
Yeah, I guess so.
Once again, double sniper from LOVEMUFFIN. They didn't do too bad on it last time, although I think they had more success when Deadlock was on the Sombra harassing the backline. So.
Well, I think they might have a bit of a problem here now, if I'm honest, because this is not, the double sniper is not the best setup to deal with the Sim teleport. You really have to rely on your snipers to hit their shots. Target acquired doesn't find an early pick, which will allow them to get the teleporter up. No? What happened to the teleporter?
They destroyed it so fast, they were expecting it.
I didn't even see it. Wow. Okay, well, I guess if you can't hit a headshot, hitting the teleporter shot is also good, but Vaxi takes target acquired out. And they're just gonna come straight forward onto the point now. You see Keith running around on the Baptiste, firing in, healing to his team, keeping them alive. It's amazing that they managed to take the meta and make it look chaotic as well, but they sure did, and they'll take the point.
They might be playing meta, but you can't force them to target focus.
No, again, still completely missed the teleporter. I think I'm still like a minute behind of what just happened here with 6 minutes on the push. That is a time bank. That is a time bank.
Interesting teleport as well. They're all going after target acquired up on the high ground.
No target. No, don't go. Oh my lord. Well, I'm gonna go back to calling on the point there as the Symmetra and target deal. Target acquired wins it somehow. Target acquired dies. Oh my god. Meanwhile, on the point, just an absolute mess. You see Dash there on the Sigma kind of in the corner getting borne down. EOC doing a lot of the heavy lifting on the point. Target acquired managed to destroy the Symmetra and then died to a Symmetra turret. So that's something. And it looks like they want a pause here. That's what I assume, that the 6 Ps or the 7 Ps and a pause coming in. And Redix has 2 million ping. So maybe getting the reset there for the Orisa player. Don't really know what to make of this initial brush with destruction that we've seen so far. It's been a weird one. It was a fast first point attack, but that second point, that kind of weird teleporter acronator never really paid out, I think, the way they wanted it to.
Yeah, I was expecting the rest of Z9 to go with Azali there after the sniper, because he probably would have died a lot faster. But instead, they all just went up main, and I guess Azali had other plans to take out target acquired from beyond the grave. But it just kind of like lost focus, and you can't do that on Hanamura second. That's probably the hardest point in the entire game to push. So they
certainly would be up there. It looks like we've got the ready from both sides, so we should be able to get back in on the action here.
Honestly, pretty interesting that target acquired popped his infra sight so soon after that fight had just ended, as they're obviously just going to be back in spawn, Z9 is, so there's no point in seeing where they are quite yet, unless they were maybe expecting the left side teleport for the offense, but that's not the case.
They might have been expecting it. Target acquired did shift over to the side there almost immediately. They're playing a lot tighter up in that mid area now. seeing if they can maybe deny, I think, another one of those weird teleporters. The Zali does have shield here, so they've got something that they can use to sort of split this point. And they actually might go straight down the middle here. And no, they're teleporting up again and then throwing down the wall. That's actually a very sensible play. That'll buy some room. EOC somehow dies. Don't exactly know what happened there. That'll force Lupical to use the Transcendence, just trying to keep his teammates alive. That'll force, again, out on the other side will come the Gravitic Flux. You see windows in all directions here, but ultimately the point has been swept clear of life. EOC trying to hold on there. EOC actually needs to get the touch. EOC has to touch. There we go. EOC touches, drops the Gravitics. Not as much value out of that as they would like. Vexy and Azali getting the cleanup kills there. Vexy popping the Death Blossom on the backside, and Target Acquire can do nothing but watch as they take the win. No, not the win, I should say. The complete the
round win.
The round win. That's what I meant. The round win.
Singular second. It's pretty rare that you see that. But I guess with their first point attack so dominant, that's not too surprising. Yeah, that's a little bit sloppy there from Z9 on that first attack, but they kind of cleaned it up in that second one. They had their little bunker, and while they took a lot of unnecessary damage while they were up there, they did eventually drop down to point and get the progress that they wanted. If they'd waited even a second longer, they probably wouldn't have, as LOVEMUFFIN would have started to get the spawns back, but Z9 seem to be on top of that. Pretty dominant offense there. Good statement to make. You know, they want this to go to a map 5. They want to try and take Busan.
Yeah, indeed. It was honestly kind of good. It was just good attack from them, and their 2 DPS were coming in really big there as well. Vexy and Azali just kind of had the point on lock after a certain moment, and anybody who kind of came in to try and recontest was just immediately met with overwhelming death. Looking at this setup, again, it's not unsimilar to some of the stuff we saw earlier today, actually, which is kind of the Echo coming in, and a spam damage character and a mobile damage character, so useful in her way.
Looks like LOVEMUFFIN are just going to be going for the stereotypical teleporter. You know, get in, Reaper kill things, win. If they can do it, we'll have to wait and see, as the Echo is going to have a lot of burst damage for that TP. Yep.
Well, get the teleporter on. That's all 6 bodies on the point now. Now they're just going to start looking for targets. Poor unfortunate souls who have to drop in and try and contest this bad boy. They've got 2 ticks off the start here before the contest begins. Vexy annihilated here, and they'll start to push forward on the Orisa in particular. Redix feeling a lot of pressure here. They haven't quite noticed that there's a Sigma just by himself on the outside right. They don't really need to worry about it. They're trying to keep most of their damage focused forward. Keith gets a pick on target acquired. The window actually will come out on the backside of point. That precipitates a fire strike, but unfortunately nothing to really be gotten from that. Ooh, good Gravitics coming in there might slow this down. Really just holding on by their toenails. This could go either way. Azali trying to get some picks in there. Empty off the edge of the map there. Orange getting involved. Lupical getting some picks as well. Trying to keep abreast of the madness here as Bob comes charging across the point and will not contest it. And I think the majority of the death and violence is over. You can open your eyes now, Acrometer. Okay.
Probably, as you do have K-Orange rotating around a little bit. You do have a quick TP, but it gets destroyed by Redix of all things. I'm not sure if they were quite ready to take that, but oh well, yeah, okay. This is probably going to be LOVEMUFFIN quickly taking it, because they don't really have the bodies on the defense.
Yeah, Keith got gutted early on there by the microwave beam. They'll invest a sound barrier here. The only thing I don't know if they needed to do that. A rally coming out here will allow, I think, MK and the defenders to try and hold on. The Shatter coming in here as well will find no joy. Pooter Scooter is killed. The Gravitics coming out early on. Don't actually think he really got anyone in that. Don't think he necessarily needed to. They will get the flip. Not the most organized attack I've ever seen, but an attack nonetheless, and they finish it with 5 minutes in the time bank.
You know, if we didn't watch C9's first offense, then we probably think that was a brilliant offense. So I'm just going to say that was a really good fight. I actually really like that teleporting position, because it forces Z9 into an awkward position to try and focus them down. Not sure why they're going up the stairs. Okay, they think better of it.
Yeah, they're kind of flagging in the corner down here for a second, considering what they want to do. Is all the invested the pulse bomb there, didn't really find any targets. The Gravitics comes in, that'll smash cores, Lupical target acquired. And they're all dead.
That was actually really weird. I know what they were trying to do is to get Z9 to drop so they could then just bull rush them down, but they kind of just sat in the corner with knowing that Dash had his flux and the fight that we just saw happen where like 3 or 4 people got within an inch of their life and then K-Orange just fell to a flux. So that was kind of awkward timing and positioning and gusto from LOVEMUFFIN, not quite what they needed to do.
Oh, I'm sure Dash was happy about it.
He was certainly happy to
he appreciated that 100%. They're gonna come straight up the stairs here, just right into the face of it all. The gate actually coming up there to push them back down the stairs. They've got another gate on the other side. Target acquired gets Azali. Azali gets deadlocked. The DPS trading out kills there. Neither window coming in particularly huge. They'll begin to push up the stairs again, and it's a lot of bodies in a very compacted amount of space for double shield. They'll invest the sound barrier here. They're gonna try and kill Keith on the Baptiste. Keith on the Baptiste running away. Keith doing a spectacular job of somehow not dying. Now it's K-Orange's turn to get caught out looking on the backhand side. Deadlock does get Vexy here. They've established a front line by the doorway. It won't quite happen. Keith probably used up at least 7 of his 9 lives. Escaping that, though, that was really something.
Yeah, the one thing I've noticed that differentiates the top 16 trials contenders level supports versus like the lower GM supports, especially when they happen to play here and grace us with their insanity, is that the higher level supports do a really good job of just staying alive through the dumbest stuff. You sit there wondering, how are they still alive? And that's basically Keith in a nutshell right now.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, Deadlock taken out early on. Target acquired, though, returning the favor. We've seen this little bit of tape before, an early trade and picks there. Not really enough. It's going to be a really fast rotate, actually, up and around. They barely had time to react to that. The window comes in, the Gridic comes in as well. EOC gets 2 kills with that. EOC breaks the wall, and that'll open some other stuff up, but Azali comes swinging out of the backside, actually clones the Baptiste of all characters. Throws the immortality field out, which allows them to stagger for, I don't know, all of a second there on the point. EOC continues to rack up kills like he's knocking down targets at a fun fair, but it won't be enough. He'll be brought down, and the rest of the team will go with him.
I think a big reason as to why Z9 were able to stabilize there is because they play so split that when LOVEMUFFIN just bursted into the point, Vexy has 2 HP right now, when they bursted into the point, there were so many Z9 members who were like on the side who could just come back around and keep the high and get a little bit of extra damage from the outside while the rest of them were coming in from spawn.
I think Target Acquired was looking to try and pick off Keith there with that sight. Didn't quite manage it. Had to back up. The beatdown bongos are out on the favor of Z9. They're putting a lot of damage down the gut here. Dash up there trying to bounce some orbs off walls, cause some problems. That's actually going to force a bit of an awkward rotate here. I think EOC thought they were going to go mid. Instead, he'll come back up to the rest of the team because they're going to push high ground again. Less than a minute left on the clock for him here.
Multiple people getting dangerously low there, but this fight will remain intact for the time being.
Gravitic comes out. They'll get the clone here. Deadlock does actually manage to clone Dash on the Sigma, so if they can get a Gravitic of their own to come out here, that might be a huge play, especially because the tanks are all bunched up. The rally does come in. The Gravitic's actually not even needed. They managed to get most of the kills before it even started. The rally probably gives them enough health to pull this through. As Ollie coming in on the Tracer trying to contest. You see Vexy drop there on the Doomfist. Doesn't really hold out at all. The window coming out on the other side. Bodies coming in. A window on the back by the entrance. Giving a little bit of room there for the Widowmaker to do some damage on those half shots if they so chose. But Emke will actually get in the face of Target Acquired and take him down. Lupico with the quick vengeance, and it is over at the very bitter end.
That was dangerously close to being draw or lose for LOVEMUFFIN, but they clawed their way in there and managed to survive. It's not the best time bank in the world, especially considering they started with 5 minutes going into second, but they're still in it at the very least.
Yeah, it was 5 minutes, and definitely, I mean, you compare those 2 time banks, right? And it's a bit of
Almost
it's a bit of a difference.
times
It's a bit of a difference, but that's okay. We'll see what they can kind of muster here. It's not out. It's not gone. Let's just put it at that. It's not gone yet.
Oh, definitely not. But they're going to need a really strong defense when they get to that point. Actually, they're going to need a strong offense as well if they want to avoid Busan.
Interesting choices here, actually. Target acquired coming in on the soldier. Deadlock will be the one playing the Symmetra, so they are going to go, I think, for the teleportation. On the other side, pretty much standard. And Target acquired now actually switching back to the Ash. So what do you think the play is? You leave Target in the doorway and you just Target going back to the Littlemaker now. I guess you leave Target in the doorway and hope that you can just get some picks once you make that teleport.
I think that's the idea here. They're biting on Z9 to hold a little bit further up and not expect the sniper to lay back. They're going to have about 15 seconds before they would be able to realize that there is a Widowmaker. Yeah, and he's just tiptoeing around so he can't even hear anything.
Teleporter's out. There comes the teleportation. Now Target has to get picks here. Pooner, though, takes the Zolly out early on. The rotator's coming in. Target needs to get a kill here. Really has to find someone. He doesn't have very good sight lines. You can see the shot. Finally hear a shot coming in, but I don't think he's gotten anyone. Instead, the fight's boiling around the bell. The bell, the centerpiece here. The bell ringing out of control as people are shooting it. Healing coming in over the top. Lupical doing a great job on this Baptiste, basically keeping things. There's Target acquired. Takes Redix out of the fight. Target acquired takes Dash out as well.
That's going to be first point, and that's going to be not impossible, but difficult for Z9 to take. Of course, they are going to have a little bit more time than what they started with originally to take it, but it really depends on what LoveMuffin can do on this second point here. Is no one's really going to have ultimates aside from Deadlock and Lupical. You might see Keith and Azali come up with their own. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit longer than what LoveMuffin has to wait.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Deadlock with the shield, if it's played right, could be enough for them here. They'll actually gate early on! Redix destroyed on the front side! Now Dash is getting just bullied over there by almost the entirety of the enemy team. They'll loop back around here. Emke, the new target of choice. He'll be brought down as well. Keith's immortality field will not stand. You see the ball rolling around there on the point, just I think trying to keep the sustain up, but Redix will not be able to do it. That's a tick. Target acquired does go down, but Pooter gets him quickly. Bexy tries to come in on the rear. Dash can't make anything work. There's this one lone body holding out, and they will full cap on the attack. Wow. They started that off with 1 minute. Amazing stuff.
Insane. They played that second point to perfection. That's such a hard point to take. I believe that's probably one of them. We do have another pause call coming out. This time for LoveMuffin. But I firmly believe Hanamura's second is one of the hardest points to take in the entire game. And the fact that they did it effectively in overtime with 2 ultimates, building up to, I think, maybe a third there, because I think EOC built up to his flux at the very end. On top of a few of Z9 building up to theirs. I think they had a window. They had, I don't know if they had any DPS ults come out, but at the very least, like Z9 had a chance to stall it out, and LoveMuffin just had beautiful target focus there when it really mattered.
Yeah, they really did. You're 100% correct, Akinator. It was just really good target focus. A great gate, actually, on the initial attack to just open things up. They managed to get Redix out of the fight immediately. You take the locus of the enemy team out, and you just power forward.
Oh, Jesus. I thought someone in the game was asking that.
No.
I was really worried for a second. Bakenji is asking to restart his computer and then be reinvited, and I was like, oh no, Z9 might fall, but he's spectating. I don't care. Oh, heart attack averted there, but okay.
Looks like they're ready to get started here again, but yeah, a spectacular effort. Nope, never mind. Nope. It's still a spectacular effort there on that attack. I mean, even if that had been like normal play, not overtime, that would have been an amazing run right there.
Yep. Okay. Well, Z9 is very, very ready. So
a lot of ours. There's a lot of ours. They're very eager to get started.
So even despite the time bank, it's gonna be really rough for Z9 to try and take second point. Like they could do it in blistering speed again, but there's no guarantee of that because now these teams have seen each other's offenses at least once before. So they're going to have a little bit of extra time and foresight to have an idea of what they're going to try.
Ready for battle.
And sure enough, I think this is the exact same thing they tried last time, which
It is.
I mean, it
yeah.
worked really well last time, but Love Muffin might also play it differently this time around. So there's a lot of opportunities to hold him on first. There's a lot of opportunities to hold him on second.
Oh, yeah.
Love Muffin just needs to keep their composure here.
I mean, we you know for a fact that you can burn 4 minutes 50 seconds on Hanamura. Like that's if there's a place where you want to have your back to the wall, like trying to burn a big time bank, this is probably pretty high up on the list, right? Of places you want to be. I don't know that. That being said, I don't actually think that Love Muffin has done anything in particular to counter this.
No, not quite. I think the one big thing is the target acquired on the Ashe. I like a little bit better than the Widowmaker in this scenario, just because he has a little bit more utility than just kill from long range. And he's gonna have that Bob rather quickly that can help stall the points, create a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, almost 50% actually already. There's the teleporter coming in. EOC needs to back off right quick there.
Bars.
Oh, that was really close on everybody's part. I'm being honest, a close shave for both the teams. EOC now just trying to be aggressive, trying to stall out the... Oh, Dash goes down early. Deadlock finding a big pick there on the Sigma to initiate. EOC throwing in some damage and target acquired manages to get Keith. And I think with Keith going down, yeah, that push is effectively over.
Yeah, Vexy didn't even take part in that fight. He's in the back line towards that mini health pack by the points. I don't think they know where he is. I don't know if they've been trying to track him. No, it looks like they found him. That's worst case scenario if you're Vexy.
They found him. They're trying to kill him, and he will go down.
That is a
with the
brutal stagger.
Yeah, that is a brutal stagger. Too true.
If he had just stood still, I don't know if Love Muffin would have noticed him. I think they noticed him because he was walking around and Reaper has about all the subtlety of a horse. So,
all the subtlety of an Orisa in a China shop.
Basically,
you got target acquired and Deadlock both have their ults. Orange is coming up on theirs as well. Keith on the other side has Gate, so they do have some choices here. The rotate coming in to this top side through the dojo here, just trying to get set up, and they're actually going to trick back down. And they'll teleport straight towards the point here and get the line set. And that's kind of caught things a little bit weird, but Bob coming in from the midst of all of that might actually be enough. There was good dynamite there to hit Keith. Bob gets frozen and moved and destroyed on the point. The lines are set, though. It's a good window coming out there from Keith. Keith actually really doing a spectacular job with that window, combined with the shield there. Just gives his team a ton of pressure. They'll get a tick here. The window coming out into great ice wall by the Mei, but because of those Baptiste changes, they do have a little bit of room that they can continue to shoot through. But this Mei making life absolutely hellish here. You see EOC tried to get a Riddick off, will not succeed. Booter Scooter coming onto the point, just getting bullied. Basically holding as long as the Orisa health bar will allow. Now 2 minutes and 20-ish seconds, plus a little bit of change.
That's not a bad stall. Like, if they were trying to hold just first point and they needed to defend, like, you know, a tick on second point because they couldn't get anything, then this would be a little bit dicey, but... Oh, okay, well...
Oh. Deadlock has been making these sticky mines count this entire time. Even as I say that, of course, he does just blast a row of them into the top of a door frame. But before that, he'd been really doing a good job of making them count. He made them count right there, ripping Keith out of the action right away as they begin to push forward again.
Hello.
Yeah, and Love Muffin has a really good position here because they have a lot more ultimates. They have a decent amount coming online. Z9 has a few as well, but they're at a massive disadvantage just because of the spawn advantage. They need to take this fight very cleanly if they want a chance to take this.
Oh, Pooter in danger. Pooter already used the Fortify, has to get down before he gets frozen. That'll force some rotates. There are ults in favor here if they want a Deadlock trying to get Azali out of the action on the high ground. Can't quite make it stick. Both sides dropping the bongo here. Deadlock actually will clone the Orisa. They could get 2 bongos out here if Deadlock can generate it fast enough. Deadlock has to get something down. Deadlock does get the bongo down, but now there's not a lot of bodies here to contest the point. 1 tick on. Deadlock trying to stall this. Deadlock doing a really good job of just floating on the edge of that point. That buys enough time for Pooter to come back in. Pooter comes charging back in. Deadlock will get res. Great res, actually. EOC, Lupical, and Deadlock all coming up on the kill feed. EOC on the Reinhardt getting some kills. There's a window unleashed on the top side by Lupical, I think, honestly, just to get the boosted healing in. And that was close, but not enough.
That was very risky for Z9. They kind of needed to take that fight because they're probably not going to have another fight with that many ultimates. And you see the swaps coming in that are going to be more conducive to getting those quick picks without the need of ultimates. And I do not blame him. I like these swaps for him, but that's got to sting a little bit for not taking more than just a tick in that fight.
Well, Z9 definitely feeling the pressure now. They've got 44 seconds left as they'll begin to push forward here. Oh, health going down all over the place. Keith dropped first again. The big support gets taken out once more early on. Now Azali will follow their support player into the respawn queue. Oh, Vexy, though, does manage to get target acquired, but it feels like too little too late. They need a soft reset here. They need something. What they didn't need was Renix killed right there. And this is going to be an absolute nightmare for them to actually manage to get a one. Dash is out. Emkey does have the rally up. Not enough. Emkey goes down. 9 seconds on the clock. Nobody can touch. There's literally nobody here.
You do have Redix trying to touch on the ball. I'm not sure if he can make it. He should be able to.
He does get in just at the last second. Vexy gets a kill. Bob is deployed onto the point to help him hold it against Redix. Redix is there. Redix is dead. And that might just be curtain call.
I almost can't believe I'm saying it, but damn, like, Z9 came into this as rather heavy favorites just because of their late season pickups. Ultra getting unsuspended after being suspended for like 3/4 of the season. Vexy, Keith being insane. Pooter desperately wants the interview. I don't know if he's ever gotten an interview, so probably.
That was really well done.
Yeah, that was
really well done.
good game.
Yeah, those first two matches, their first two maps were utter chaos. I like just utter chaos. No doubt about it. But that last map, LOVEMUFFIN played that pretty well the entire time, like quite well the entire time. That's not to say that Z9 didn't play particularly well either, because I mean they did. There was good stuff coming out of them, but LOVEMUFFIN showed a lot of composure, I think, on that map when they were actually playing to the meta.
Yeah, definitely. They, especially when their backs were up against the wall, they had such an insane time disadvantage. They came back and actually made something brilliant of it. Okay, let me find Pooter.
That's the funny thing. I'm not even talking. I wasn't even thinking about that. But yeah, they just got a 4-minute 45 overtime win. Like they held out for 4 minutes and 45 seconds. That's not, I mean, obviously Hanamura is a good map to have to do that on, but that's not exactly easy either. It's not it's a height of ease, it's not a situation you ever want to be in, especially when you're not the favorite. I mean, you're up against teams that have talent and strength and have been kind of like pressuring you all night, and you still managed to pull that out. So all credit to them. And credit to Z9. I mean, they played well, but just not enough in the end.
All right, let's get Pooter in here. I don't think he should be muted.
Hello.
Hi. You sound stressed.
Yes. Yeah. Oh.
Was the May in your face after you used Fortify? What did it?
I got very scared very fast. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you pulled out the win despite all the odds. I mean, Hanamura was looking a bit grim there after the first set of rounds.
Yeah.
And you pulled it out. You beat the odds. I don't quite remember, despite the fact that I made the graphics saying so, but I don't remember what the statistics were of like who predicted you to win and whatnot.
I can actually look right now. I think analysts chose us to win by like 5%, and then community thought like Z9 by like 70%.
Something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
It was this. I think this match was deserving of the main channel. Actually, I'm very curious. I'm gonna be checking the other channel.
Easy Clap is winning right now.
What?
So yeah.
My chat is throwing. I'm sorry, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I don't know what were comms like throughout the entirety of.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I gotta get the maps out because I kind of forget which maps that we played. So if the first map, Ilios, I'm not gonna lie, the comms were pretty quiet. I was one of the only ones that was actually calming. But we won that, and that definitely boosted us up, especially since Joel had to leave like early because of something IRL. So we had to put Deadlock in as flex DPS and Eok in.
Yeah, I remember seeing Deadlock as primarily a tank player, so it's interesting to see him not only is a flex DPS, but like really flexible. As
Yeah,
a DPS.
like he popped this game. I'm not gonna lie.
He did a lot, especially on Hanamura's second or
Yeah.
I guess fourth.
Okay. And then what was the next map? I think it was Kings, right?
Yeah, Kings.
Kings, we kind of comps are fine. We just didn't really know what to do against that comp, against like the monkey ball or the monkey Rhine. We played Sig Hog at first because it worked on the first map, but then after a bit we realized, oh, we should play like a Rhine Sig. We started doing some success, but then afterwards we realized it was too late. We lost all the defense and we got like 0 on the offense, so there was no way of winning. We still wanted to draw, but it didn't really work out. Which is fine. The next point was Rialto. Also, shout out to everyone in Love Muffin. We've never lost Rialto yet.
Wow.
Really? That's
yeah.
interesting.
So, and we've played it every single time that we've chosen, except for Newt. I have no idea why.
Well, you did have to deal with the Keith Widow.
Keith Widow. Okay. I know Keith Irell, and I respect Z9 a lot. Keith just popped. I'm not gonna lie. And then Peter and Vexy did so much as well during that map. But then after a bit, they just they threw an offense. I remember one specific point where I fluxed, and then they tranced and rallied for my flux. Which, if somebody doesn't know, you just don't do that. You never rally. You never do both the sport ults. And then after a bit, we just rolled them. It was too late. They threw the first minutes away, and then after a bit, they just But I do have to say it was really, really close. I also do want to highlight a point of comms. When we captured the 4th point of Hanamura, I was screaming so loud that the reason why we paused was because I needed to get a drink of water. Just because I was screaming.
That makes sense because the team had like impeccable target focus.
Yeah. But I definitely respect Z9 a lot and a lot of their players, and it was really, really fun to go against them, especially because I know a few of them outside of the league, which is really, really cool to win against them. And I also just want to shout out my team. We did so well today, and we're just gonna do better in the playoffs.
All right. That's all I've got.
That's good enough for me as well. Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Hard-fought victory against the odds, according to some. All right, we'll let you get back to your team and I guess let your voice recuperate.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the Easy Clap game. Also, watch that one. It's very, very close. It's, I think, map 5 right now.
It's currently map 5, yo.
Let's go. All right. Yeah, I'll see you guys.
All right. Well, that was a game and a half, and honestly, a lot closer than the even the novice one that we casted on this channel earlier tonight. A little bit chaotic, but I expect that out of Expert.
Yeah, it was quite chaotic, but I mean, it was good Overwatch at the end of the day. Like I said at one point in time, it is chaotic, it is weird, but at the end of the day, it is a not super common version of just kind of like slug it out Overwatch that is actually kind of a pleasure to watch, and it's always good to see, you know, an underdog team come through big and win like they did right there, Acronator. That was enjoyable to see.
Yeah, actually, fun side note is Pooter, the person we just interviewed, was on Z9 Season 0 way back in the day. So he's OG Z9, and he got to
history.
He got to show them out of the. He got to show them the door of the playoffs this time around. So you love to see it or you hate to see it. I don't know. Anyways, that's all we've got. Go check out the Easy Clap Chengdu Chad's match. It's probably going to be ending in a couple of minutes as they are on the first round of Busan. So one of those teams is going to be moving on. So I've been Acronator. Corbeck, been a joy working with you for 2 different times tonight.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And see ya.